luxury Mercedes, S-Class. Entry-level Mercedes, B-Class, and C-Class. Mid-level Mercedes, that's the E-Class. This is the Mercedes E300. You're watching 90-Second Car Reviews, full reviews. When I got into this car, I was floored by the quality of the interior for the price you're paying. The fit and finish of this interior is what you would expect from a Mercedes S-Class, but with the price of just above that of a C-Class. Talking about the inside, not only is the fit and finish amazing, but you also have a ton of technology features throughout the vehicle. Let me expound a little bit. When I turned the first corner out of the parking lot of the Mercedes dealership, I was pleasantly nudged on the one side that I would be pushed towards by the way I was turning. They have dynamic seats in these cars that fill up the bolsters as you're turning. Now you could turn that down or you could even turn it off, but the way I drive, which isn't too crazy around town, it was very comfortable. I'm not sure how that would go with a larger person, but for someone of my size, having that on its highest setting was super nice to drive around in because you're held very tightly in your seat. You're not moving around all the time. Beyond that, the technology on this car. This one has the twin 12.3-inch screens with the one piece of Gorilla Glass over the both of them, and it looks amazing. Those two screens are controlled by the center console control, which is pretty much standard on anything above a B-Class in the Mercedes, as well as the two controls you now have on the steering wheel. Navigating around the screens becomes very intuitive with a short amount of use because it's very similar to anything you would find on a smartphone almost. Now, with some of the safety features this has, I could go on and on and on. But to name a few, it will pretty much not let you get into an accident that would be your fault. You can force it to, but when the car is driving itself, it won't drive into anything. But when you do get in an accident, it then has technology even more. One of which is a sound technology. Now, when you get into an accident, sound is one of the most hurtful things in that accident. Now, the new technology from Mercedes sends out what's called a pink sound throughout the vehicle, which tones your ears to be ready for that loud noise from the accident and can really help your hearing. Not only that, when you have a side impact, because it has those self-inflating bolsters, it will sense that that's about to happen and inflate the bolster that is about to get hit, pushing you a little bit more into the vehicle and allowing the structural frame of the vehicle to take as much of the load as possible. Now, one thing that's a little bit disappointing with this car is the engine. It's a 2-liter engine producing 241 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. Now, in a car this size, those powers are okay, but it's nothing you're going to get a lot of performance out of. If you're looking for a little more performance in this vehicle, you're going to need to upgrade it to the V6 or the V8, which are available in the higher end models, but you're going to pay an extra premium for that. Now, the engine in it isn't all bad. It gets you where you need to go, and it isn't sluggish, but it doesn't have the greatest sound. But then what can you expect from a 2-liter 4-cylinder with a turbo? These are one of the options you can get with the 18-inch wheels, but you can also upgrade to AMG 19-inch wheels, which then look a little bit better and a little bit more sporty. The lights on this car look really nice. They have that twin bulb xenon blah 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 thing that I'm forgetting exactly right now. Let me look. The headlights on this car are the new twin torch LED headlights from Mercedes, and they look really nice and give a really nice light. And I'm really liking how all the cars these days are really going towards LED. It's a very clean light, and at night you really notice it. I'll go more in depth on how this drives and how the technology works in this car in some of my other videos. So if you want to know more about them, then you can watch those. But let me talk a little bit about the driving assist system. This driving assist system was the most intuitive system I have gotten into in a brand new vehicle. It was easy to turn on. It was already turned on. It was easy to run and know how to use, and it didn't go astray hardly at all. There was one little issue I had when I was going down the road that it wanted to go into the wall a little bit, but that's what you're going to get with these systems sometimes because they're not fully autonomous. And that's the thing, is you can't expect a vehicle like this to be fully autonomous yet, and legally you can't. But it was awesome to drive with. The interval for how long you can have your hands off the wheel was much more than that which I have experienced, but even with that longer interval, I felt safer in this car because I knew what it could do. As I said before, I'll go more into depth on how that works in another video, but this car will drive itself down the highway. It will change lanes for you. Once you turn on the blinker, you have to turn it back off, and it will not crash into the back end of somebody if they slow down, or if you catch up to somebody, it won't crash into them either. All basic things, but it's tied together in one really nice package in this car. This car is a little bit longer than the previous generation, and what that gives you is a little bit more legroom inside. This seat currently is in my driving position, and this seat is currently very comfortable to sit in. Now, what do I have to say about the overall looks? Well, it's almost hard these days to tell the difference between a C-Class, an E-Class, and an S-Class, which is great for C-Class and E-Class owners, but not so great for S-Class owners. There are differences, and yes, you can tell them apart. I wasn't sure if this was the E300 when I walked up to it because it looks so much like the C300, which isn't such a good thing for this car either. But this one is bigger, it is better, it has more technology, and much better finish on the inside. That's not saying that the C-Class isn't bad, but that's just saying how good this one is. So my professional or non-professional opinion of this car, take it as you will. If you like it, go get it. If you want more performance, go get the higher up model. But the quality of this interior is amazing. The quality of the ride is amazing. The vehicle looks great. It's like an S-Class, but a smaller one. Call it the baby S-Class if you want. So what kind of cars could you get for this price point in a luxury sort of category? Well, you could get the BMW 6 Series, which goes for about the same price, but you don't have the option for the twin screens. And this is the 21st century, so why wouldn't you want to get the twin screens? Just seeing a 6 Series quickly in the showroom, the quality of this interior seems to be better, but that's up to your own opinion. Audi, you could get an S6 for around the same price. Again, you can't get the twin screens. If that's not a deal breaker for you, then really get what you want. This is a more refined looking car. That is a more of an aggressive looking car. But overall, I really like this car. It would be a perfect daily driver for someone that doesn't need the performance and someone who likes really high quality things. So that's what I have to say about the Mercedes E-Class. If you want to see more about it, then click on the links over here or in the description for my other videos about this car. I have a shorter review and I have a point of view test drive. The point of view test drive will tell you more about how it drives, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a great day.